What's up, beer drinkers? How y'all doing this week? Oh, we got another great show for you again this week. Sorcerer Chromatic and I drink and review some delicious beers. We have a great beer news story. And then our Cöld Brüe List is just a bunch of shows that we are watching currently. And so we have a great time. Sorcerer Chromatic is in his new digs, and he still hasn't set up his side of Cöld Brüe Studios, but he will sooner than later. And can't wait to get that going because we got some great stuff in store for you guys. Don't forget to follow us on Untapped and Instagram. Search Cöld Brüe Podcast. And so without further ado, it's time for another Cöld Brüe. Coming at you pre-recorded from Cöld Brüe Studios. I am Greg. He is Sorcerer Chromatic, and we're here to talk about beer.
Yeah.
How you doing this week, man?
Good. It's hot. It was the hottest week.
Yeah.
The year so far where I live.
Yeah. And you're in the new place now, in the new digs. How you liking it?
Well, we don't have air conditioning.
Well, I mean,
I was gonna ask you, do you hear the fans in the background?
No, I hear some little fuzziness, but I just figure it's our connection.
Oh, okay. No, I have the ceiling fan going and the room fan.
Mm-hmm.
Or tower, whatever.
Yeah. It reminded me of me when I moved down here to Arizona. I moved during the hottest part of the year.
There you go.
All right, well, let's get the beer. Let's get the show started, and that way you can get back into your little kiddie pool.
Right?
All right. I have in front of me from our good friends in Phoenix, Arizona, our old friends, Wren House Brewing. I have their Big Cactus, and they even have the name, the Latin name for cactus in here, the Carnegie gigantea. It's a barrel-aged imperial blend with 28% rum stout, 42% bourbon stout, 14% bourbon stout, and 16% imperial stout. And this is from their Cactus Catalog series. This proceeds from this beer benefit the replanting of saguaros and restoration efforts in the footprint of the bushfire on the Tonto National Forest. This fire consumed over 193,000 acres in a little over 3 weeks and killed an estimated 80,000 saguaro cacti. With your help, we can bring the desert back to life. And for those of out there who don't know, the saguaro are the iconic cacti of the Sonoran Desert. You familiar with the Roadrunner and Coyote, Wile E. Coyote cartoons? The ones with the cacti with the arms.
The ones with the right angle, little pitchforks. Down?
Yeah, the El Paso salsa logo.
Yes.
Anyway, without further ado, Papa, what do you got?
Hey, real quick, I remember Shaquille O'Neal nicknamed himself the Big Cactus when he played for this one.
Yeah, when he was in the Suns, yeah, he was always the big everything, the big Barishnikov.
Right, the big Barishnikov, the big Aristotle. Yeah.
Yep, the big toe.
All right, I have from Otter Brother Beer Company.
What?
Oh, Other Brother Beer Company.
Oh.
I have their Cerveza El Rey.
All right.
All right. It's elaborated in Seaside, Alta California. No, sorry. Elaborada in Seaside, Alta California. So this is their Mexican style dark lager from Other Brother Brewing Company. I believe they're like in Monterey, right?
Dude, you know better than me.
Of course. Yeah, I don't know. No, Seaside. Duh, I just said it. So Seaside is what, like south of Santa Cruz, kind of?
It's around that, dude. To be honest, I've lost that part of my brain. the Bay Area geography.
Yeah, so I think it's like between Santa Cruz and well, you have what's that Capitola, and then I think it is Seaside
Oh, okay, yeah.
or
Aptos is around there in that area.
Sea Cliff or but and then Monterey. So somewhat local. I just thought it'd be nice to do another well just a hot day beer, even though it's a dark style lager. Mexican style craft beers are still on the lighter side of well of everything. Right?
Yeah, the lighter stuff, especially the mouthfeel.
Right. So, any further ado, Papa?
This this stout blend is fucking amazing. And I know you like stouts. I like stouts. It's got the dark roasty flavor. You have a lot of the different spirits. I get a lot of the bourbon, of course, is the first one, but then also on the backside there's a little sweetness to it, like a little rum type sweetness. This is just amazing. I I'm really I'm struggling to find a comparison that I could relate to you. They'd be like, oh yeah, I like that, because this is more like it's such a blend of different flavors that it's its own unique flavor. So I really dig this one. It's got a really heavy mouthfeel. Really not the best to go with the 115-degree day. I think it was only 113 over here. Yeah, and plus I'm in my air controlled house, so and I got it down to 75 right now. A little bit colder than I usually like, but it was just it was unrelenting today. I just there was there was no escaping, so I had to throw it down a little bit, and I'll probably raise it just a little bit. I usually keep it around 78. I know they recommend a little bit higher, but yeah, 78 is good for me. Got the fan going, and you should look into get an AC. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, on my list of things to do.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe a split system will work for you. But hang it out the window. Uh, what was the one that Kramer got for Jerry? The Comanche?
I thought it was the Commander or something. No,
Oh,
the Commander.
maybe it was the Commando.
Was it?
It was something like that. Anyway, get one of those. Just watch out for dogs underneath the window. So, how's your beer?
Okay. Well, over here, talking about your beer, I was tasting mine, and I'm sorry I didn't do a proper introduction. So
Go ahead.
again, shout out to Other Brother Beer Company out of Seaside. So according to the can, a crow approaches from the south.
Okay.
A shiny bit bathing in its it alights. No, it alights. Cocks its head and drops its treasure. Its claws curiously. Wait, never mind.
It's too hard to read.
Yeah, just the way it's printed, and it's somewhat darker.
Well, that's your new thing, right? Getting cans that are hard to
Oh,
read.
it claws curiously. You see deep intelligence in its eyes, which glitter as it probes your soul. You sip yourself out the rain, satisfied in the dark. 1 point, 5.1% alcohol by the way. All right. No, going to the flavor of this beer. Okay, so it's a dark Mexican lager. Not
Mm-hmm.
too dark. Definitely not like the traditional like Coronas and Modelo, but definitely far from like Modelo Negra.
Yeah.
But it just got a dark tint to it or a dark hue to it. Um, geez, I said it's hot over here. Like my glass is sweating. I'm gonna drop it. Um, and tastes great. Light mouthfeel. It's got a little body to it, a little bit maltiness to it. Low hop profile. But very very enjoyable stuff.
Very nice. I know you've had some other brothers on the show before. So I'm glad you brought them back, because it seems like they a lot of breweries get kind of forgotten because there's so many.
Oh, that's true. I mean, I think about it. We just basically feature one, one per show, so it is hard to be continuous.
Yeah.
Brewery over and over again. With so
And
many wonderful options.
right. And truth be told, I was trying to find the that Sierra Nevada's new little thing variant, I guess I could call it. They got a new one called Cool Little Thing, which has cryogenic hops in it.
Oh, geez.
Have you seen the Cool Little Thing out there?
No, yeah, I haven't been looking for it, so I'll have
Okay.
to keep an eye out for it.
Yeah, it's kind of like a light blue, like sky blue, almost teal, and yellow can. It's their new one that's out. But it always seems like you can get it out there in California before I can get out here in Arizona. But I mean, it kind of makes sense because they're brewed. It's brewed in California.
Right?
But anyway, all right, we will rate our beers later on during our Untapped portion of the show. Don't forget to follow us on Untapped. Search Cold Brew Podcast and friend us, and we'll friend you back. But right now, it's time for some beer news. The one story I want to bring up, I found on VinePair, Hop Take, another article by Dave Infante. I keep saying like I should get that guy on the show, and I really should because I really like his. He's one of the most consistent beer journalists that I've talked about on the show, or that I've used his stories anyway.
Oh, hey,
Yeah.
real quick. You know who's banned from the show for life?
Oh, who's that? One of my kids?
Brian Gracie.
Who?
Brian Gracie.
Oh. Dude, that guy just can't stay out of fucking out of his own way.
Yeah, I know. Sad.
Jesus. He's like the Diddy of the
No,
boxing.
no, it's Antonio Brown. He's like the Antonio.
There you go. The Antonio Brown of the boxing world. Shit. Anyway, the first or this story that I want to talk about is about the case of Harbor Distributing LLC doing business as Golden Brands versus Main Sheet Capital Incorporated doing business as Anderson Valley Brewing Company. It's a really long article. I suggest for you guys to find it. I found it on VinePair. It's a Hop Take. And what it boils down to is Anderson Valley is in their distributor is Golden Brands, and they wanted to get their beers from Golden Brands and use other distributors. And in California, I think the 3-tier system is in effect in California, which is in effect in the whole in the whole nation, which is the brewers brew the beer, the distributors buy the beer from the breweries, and then they sell it to the markets, and then us consumers can buy it at a store or at a liquor store or whatever, or a grocery store or liquor store, all different types of stores. And it's that middle tier that really has a lot of power, because what they can do to some of the smaller breweries is they buy their beer and then they hold it almost kind of like ransom, and they can demand like exorbitant amount of money from them, or charge a certain rate that seems unfair. And the smaller breweries can't like take their beer back and give it to other distributors, because sometimes some states, because it's left up to the state. It's not federally run; it's state run. So in different states, you have different distributors have a different amount of power over the small breweries, and then sometimes the small breweries get buried within the catalog. They call it, I think in this article they call it beer collecting or brewery collecting. And so what this was now this is in California, so this is in Texas is going to be different, New York's going to be different, but the Anderson Valley won their lawsuit against Golden Brands, and so they can use different distributors. They're not beholden to just one distributor, which is huge because I don't know how well you follow, any type of law, but now this sets precedent. So basically, other lawyers in different states can try to argue this point. Now it's state run. It's not federal. It's not a federal ruling. So this could even go even higher. But I doubt the Supreme Court's gonna hear a case about beer distributors.
Oh well, I'm still waiting them to hear my on my case about bird law.
Well, I hope they take your case, man, because I can't wait to talk about it on the show. All right, that's about it. This is a really long article. I read the whole thing. I was riveted. I really like this guy's writing, Dave Infante. He's a really good beer writer. So maybe I should write to him and see if he wants to come on the show. I'm sure he gets asked all the time, but yeah, I appreciate his contribution to the beer community. All right.
No, I mean that's cool that you find a beer journalist that you're into.
Yeah, and it just so happens. It's not like I'm looking for his stuff. It just he talks about stuff other than even. There's a small little addendum to his article talking about how bigger publications should talk about beer in a real way like he does. Because he's like, it's fine that the New York Times has a beer article, but it's about how some brewery in Utah is using an ancient yeast. Right. And I started laughing. I'm like, yeah, because I used to talk about that too on the show. But and you're right. It's more relative to the beer community to talk about these types of things. All right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm trying to think. I'm like, do we know of anyone who beer situation got like that?
Yeah, I mean, not that I know of. I mean, maybe that's some of the things I have to ask some of these brewers that I've been doing the Tap That Downtown series with. That's another thing. The distribution is one headache they have to deal with, and so I usually ask them about if they're about their product being held too long and on the shelves too long, and are they worried about their product life and stuff like that. But I mean, just the whole getting into bed with the distributor, so to speak. Like, how do you choose the right one, and what happens if they're not fulfilling your needs? How do you switch, and when do you switch?
Exactly.
That's a good one. I like that. All right. That's all I have for the beer news. So you know what that means?
Okay.
It's time for everyone's favorite segment on Cöld Brüe, because it's my favorite segment. Time for the Cöld Brüe List.
Well, surprise, I have no list today.
That's fine.
What the list of shows I want to talk about instead.
Okay. All right. Let's do it.
Well, first of all, I didn't know this until recent, but Hard Knocks is back with an off-season series.
Like a variant?
Yeah. So they're following the New York Giants. The Giants, they didn't make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So, their off-season started a little bit earlier. And yeah, it's following the front office around, talking about scouting, talking about interviewing for open positions.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you familiar with football but maybe forgot, I mean, I kind of forgot that the Giants, I guess, had some issues with their defense coordinator, that Wink guy.
Yeah.
So they let him go. So, and I don't know if you remember too, there was talk between that Brian Dable and Wink not getting along during the season as well too. So
yeah,
it just kind of worked out that way. I mean, Wink's a professional. Dable, he's not going to sabotage his team. So they try to keep it under wraps, I guess. However, I mean, it was just a situation where they did have a change, or we're going to make a change at defense coordinator. So
Yeah, I
it was
mean,
interesting.
it's good to have like opposing points of view, but when you are not when you can't work together, it just creates a bad work environment.
Definitely. And then, I don't know. I wasn't personally. I wasn't too impressed with the staff of the Giants.
Yeah,
They were still asking questions out loud, like, you know, is Saquon worth it, or how much do you think you would get? Like, do we franchise him? I'm like, you guys should know the answer already.
right.
You should. No one should ask that question. People should give their answer to that question. In my opinion.
Yeah, it might take like a day, or a night just to figure out like the stats and the return on investment and the his projected ceiling and all that. But it shouldn't be like a ongoing conversation.
Right. Well, I guess that's one getting at. Two is like, oh, sorry, I'm burping.
No, that's fine.
Drinking my L Ray too. Um, and then they were looking at it, and then they were talking about, well, then what do we go with running back? Do we draft, or do we look at free agency? And then like they predicted Jacobs to be the number one free agent running back, and his value or his price tag would be above Saquon. So it's like, how do you not know this? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I get it, just talking in a room asking that question, but they didn't show enough people with the answers, is what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
And granted, they could have been there, and yeah, maybe that is some information they don't just throw out there. However, that's already been done. Free agency is done. So I mean, I don't know why they can't show it unless they look totally stupid.
Or maybe it was just boring conversation.
That's true. You're getting a bean county, like
Yeah.
how much guaranteed up front, how much um, how much of a cap it would it be if this the the injury clauses and all this. Yeah, I get that gets boring. At the same time, that's what off season that's what off season franchise mode is about, right?
Yep. Yeah. Especially non-playoff team.
Right.
Hey, let me ask you this: did they even broach the subject about those ugly uniforms they debuted?
Oh no, I time wise, I'm not sure if they were out yet then.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I get you. Yeah. But what about like just real quick before we move on to a different show? Did they talk about like the history of the Giants? Because the New York Giants are like one of the original teams, right?
Yeah, one of the original teams. I don't know if saying the first team, but one of the original NFL teams, I believe, as well as like original ownership founder is still in the family, the Mara family. What do I want to say? Oh yeah, it's gonna be the 100-year anniversary for them this year.
Oh wow, holy
shit! That's why they're celebrating with ugly ass jerseys.
They are pretty bad, but I mean, I get it. It's their original jersey, right?
Oh, I don't even know that.
Oh, I hope it is. I hope that's the only reason. Because if it's not, like that, it's just. Their pants remind me of the old 49er pants. They're like more like tan or khaki than gold.
Yeah, I'm trying to bring up a picture of them real quick. But yeah, they have like, I thought they were like tan.
Yeah, they're
like old school, but leather helmet guys.
Right. But anyway, all right. What's the? Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. It'll be interesting. I'm not sure how many more episodes there'll be. Probably like I wouldn't think more than 4.
The regular season of Hard Knocks is only like 6 weeks, maybe 5 weeks.
I think 5. Yeah.
Okay. Because it's pretty much training camp, right?
Yeah, I mean that's what it is.
Yeah.
Or that's what the original show was designed.
Right.
And now it's going to be And then I know they're gonna do in season, but I don't know who that is.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they just started the mid season last year, right?
No, I think that's like the third year.
Oh, really? Shit. That's how much I
Yeah,
watch.
I think last year was Miami, and the year before that was I believe it was the Colts, and
Mm.
then the year before that was no, I think okay, last year Miami, the year before that was uh, the Cardinals, and then the first time they did it was the Colts.
Oh, okay. So this will be their fourth year of mid season. First
Right.
year preseason, and then of course the regular uh, training camp season. Right on. All right, what's the next show you want to bring up?
Oh, Hot D,
It's such an unfortunate acronym.
right? Well, a lot of people say HOD,
They chose
hot or
okay. Yeah, they skipped the.
yeah.
Yeah, this show has
Um,
me fucking riveted, man. Every fucking episode. There's a new episode tonight. I can't wait to go watch it.
uh, okay. So, sirens. It's
All right, take your time.
all good. They moved on. Um, what do I want to say? Oh, moving back, I realized the whole big faux pas I had the last show I was on. We were talking about it, and
Mm.
we were talking about the books that this came from. Well, it's mentioned in the original A Song of Ice and Fire um, saga, like in bits and pieces. So you could when you find those chapters and put them all together, you know these people. You
Yeah.
don't know the story in depth. Those other Fire and Blood books. However, there was also the novel or novella, the Princess and the Queen. That's the one I forgot about
Oh,
too.
okay.
That's I guess one of the big titles that I forgot about it. So yeah, I mean, like I know what happens in the story already. I mean,
Okay.
I didn't read those, but I mean, I vaguely remember the names when I first read the books, and then the second time I read the books, I was able to put pieces together. So,
Okay.
um, but going back, yeah, I mean, preparing for war, right? Blood was drawn, son for a son. That last episode was interesting. It's like Aegon, Aegon got his friends on his on his Kingsguard,
Yeah.
and I think that that wasn't really covered in like the original writings, but I think that's an interesting, I guess, plot point. I think that's going to be a huge factor in possible weakness.
Hmm. You know, who's a major player in this, even though he's got a really small role. Is what's the name of the guy? The guy with the bad foot, the club foot, or the
Yeah,
gimp?
Lyris Strong.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me a little bit of like he's like a who's a Littlefinger and the eunuch. What was his name from the original one? Varys.
Yeah, Varys. Yeah, like the Lyris and Varys. Yeah, that was pointed out a long time ago.
Yeah, he's
But
kind
then
of like
yeah,
a
a little
combo
bit
of them, right?
of Littlefinger because he's actually a lord
Yeah,
in the realm.
but he also has his own birds that feed him information.
Right. Well, like, yeah. I mean, both Varys and Littlefinger had their little scouts and spies and stuff like
Hmm.
that.
So yeah,
However, Varys had a bigger reach.
yeah, yeah, that's true. But yeah, I mean, he's got the king's ear, and he's like he's putting in suggestions like you need your own hand. Just little lines like that just change like the what ifs, the sliding doors of this Game of Thrones. Is it characters like that always even though they're very subtle, they have big impacts on the story.
So I said, yeah, definitely. I mean, the Game of Thrones, it's chess.
Yeah.
You got to set up, your move 3 moves ahead of time.
Shit, no shit. Huh? That's a good point. And speaking of which, just real quick, I just wanted to get into. I finished the first book, Game of Thrones, and they mentioned Game of Thrones like 3 or 4 times. I'm like Peter Griffin, like going, huh? Hi, he said the game. He said Game of Thrones. When you play the Game of Thrones, right? They said that like 2 or 3 times.
When you play the Game of Thrones, you win or die.
Yeah.
Or or let the lords play the Game of Thrones while us little folks suffer, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I was like, oh, they said it again. They said it once. I'm like, they said it. All right, cool. And then they said like 2 or 3 more times. It was great. So yeah, I just love the writing in the show, man. It's so compelling and so like you never know where it's gonna go. Unless you've read all the books and I get that, but if you haven't, it's the set pieces are great. The costumes, they really spent a lot of money getting this right. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely. They invested.
Yeah. Just the costume. I know a lot of it's probably CGI, but at the same time, the CGI is really good. The background and the places that they show you, they're either like really small and cramped and gives you claustrophobia, or they're big and grand and have echoes in their voices. It's really well done.
Right.
I wish I could say HBO knows how to make TV, but it's not HBO anymore. It's Max.
Right.
I feel like some of the people that are still there are like still feel like they're HBO, just because they've been there for so long.
Well, I thought they were the same company. They're just 2 different brands.
They are the same company. It's changed. It's changed to Max now, isn't it? Or does it still say HBO in the beginning?
Oh, it still says HBO.
Okay, all right, good. Anyway, how many more episodes? Like 4 or 5 more, and that's it for this second season.
I think they said 8, so that would be 4 more after this.
Okay, after tonight's.
Yeah.
And are you ready to move on, or you still have a couple more things to say?
We can move on.
All right. Yeah, the other show that we're watching is The Acolyte. I haven't seen this past Tuesdays, to be honest, but I'm up to episode 5.
Episode 5. So
that's when the main bad guy, he doesn't have a name right now, right? He's just the Sith.
Okay, what did he do in that one?
He pretty much killed everybody.
Okay. Yeah. So but then you saw his face, right?
Yeah, we got to see his face.
Yeah,
his
okay.
mask came off.
Right. So yeah, he was the guy that gave
May.
May gave May the poison.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's kind of like, yeah, that's I like the action to an extent. I'll give you my gripes.
Okay.
Well, first of all, I like the show. Okay, I like the show Star Wars, but they're doing some things that I can't stand. I think it's been done too much. Number one, that the guy who was helping May a little bit was the bad guy the whole time. Like, yeah, all right, whatever. You know, it's kind of like, don't the Jedi have that? That's another thing. Don't the Jedi have the ability to see the Force and feel the Force in people?
At least feel it. Like, I can understand they can't see the future because sometimes it's too cloudy. Like, because Palpatine did that too.
But I'm not saying that. I'm saying, like, if another Force user walked in the room, can't they detect each other?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I understand not seeing the people's actions in the future, but you should be able to feel someone who wields the Force next to you.
Right. So that, and then he killed all those Jedi, and then Soul could have killed them, and he didn't. I can't stand that.
Right.
That trope, and that's done a lot. That was even done in Game of Thrones or House of Dragon last season.
Yeah.
What's the name? Rhaenys could have killed everyone when she left with her dragon, but she didn't. In Marvel and Avengers, Dark Lord could have done that.
Yeah.
Not Dark. Is it Dark Lord? What's his name?
Oh, Star-Lord.
Star-Lord. Yeah, Star-Lord could have, they had Thanos, but Star-Lord screwed it up. It's just kind of like, I just hate that. And then it's kind of like, no, let him live. We got to figure out who he is and all that. No, he killed, he killed Jedis. He killed a lot of Jedis. What's to stop him from doing it again,
Yep.
Someone will come looking for him if he's that important,
And you could just say, hey, it was heat of battle.
Yeah.
And they could have done that with Jaime Lannister in the original Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
After that battle at River Run, Rob could have just fucking killed him. Said, "Oh, I killed him during battle. Oh well." My word versus yours.
Pretty much. So, but going forward, I do like a lot of stuff going on. I mean, that little droid thing, I find that intriguing.
The Pep, whatever his name
Yeah,
is.
Pip.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of so what are they going to do now with the sisters? Like, are they going to get back, to face to face, and what's going to happen? But are they the ones that are going to determine the fate with Dark and Light? That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Gonna be interesting.
So is this the originization or origin of the Sith, or is this just maybe the first time the Jedi have ever encountered them? Is that the whole point of this?
No,
You think?
no, because this is the High Republic time, when in the Old Republic is when the Sith established themselves.
Oh, okay, all right. I see.
And the Sith established themselves as the dark side users, because the Sith were what was it? They were a people that became extinct. Like the name was just hijacked.
I got you. Yeah, you're right. I think I remember seeing that. Oh, and the little Pip, that's like a variation of, if you ever played Jedi Fallen Order, your main guy, I forget what his name is, Cam or Cannon or something. Anyway, he's got a little droid like that. I think his name is BD. But he rides on your shoulder. You don't have a little holster for him. He brings up like maps, and he helps you like zip line from one spot to another across a chasm, things like that.
But you're right. I haven't played any of those Jedi games in a long time.
But you're right. They're about. I think they're gonna remake Old Republic, or Knights of the Old Republic. They're gonna revamp it, kind of like they did with the Final Fantasy, like 1 through 15 or whatever.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, the Acolyte. I was like I've said it on previous shows. Like I was very disappointed, like in the beginning, but at least in 4 and 5, the action caught up, and so it kind of made up for the lack of storytelling.
Right.
And so I really appreciate that. So, but I'm gonna finish the show. And out of all the Star Wars series, though, like going from all the way back to the Mandalorian, and Boba Fett and Obi-Wan, and you haven't seen Andor yet, have you?
Yes and no. I've seen a few of them. I haven't seen the whole thing.
Oh, okay. That one's really good, man. It ends really well. In the whole like scheme of things of the TV shows, where does this rank? In the middle, at the bottom, or is it still too soon to give it a final ranking?
I think it's too soon for me.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Cool, man. So how's your beer treating you?
Good. Gone.
Right on. I've taken a little while.
Easy to crush.
This one has a little bit higher ABV, and it's a little bit bigger to drink as far as like the mouthfeel. But all right, we're gonna rate our beers right now on Untapped. So just search for Cöld Brüe Podcast on your Untapped app. So you had by Other Brother. What was it called again?
El Rey.
El Rey. There it is. Cerveza El Rey. That's what they have it listed as under or in Untapped. What would you like to rate this beer at?
I'm gonna give this one a 3.5.
Oh, okay, very close. It has an overall rating of 3.69, and none of our friends have rated it right now. 3.5. What notes would you like to leave?
Well, crushable.
Okay, obviously.
I want to say smooth. And light.
And light. Sweet. Save and check in. All right, so I had by Wren House their Shaquille O'Neal Big Cactus beer. Let's see here. It's Big Cactus. I'm just going to type in Big Cactus, see how many people have Big Cactus. This is the only Big Cactus. There's like Golden Cactus, Big Brother, and The Big Cactus by Fossil Craft Beer Company. And that's a lager, a North American adjunct lager, to be honest, or to be more precise. Here it is, Big Cactus by Wren House. Oh, it has an overall rating of 4.44. That's very good because I was going to give it a 4.5. I dig this beer, and I'm going to say Shaq would love this beer. Oh, it changed Shaq to Shaw. Autocorrect.
Huh?
And check in. Right on. All right, I guess we did most of our shenanigans during the during our Cöld Brüe List segment. Anything else you'd like to bring up on this episode of Cöld Brüe Podcast?
No, just as hot. Stay cool. Be the
Yep. Stay cool out there, all you cat and kittens. You ever think about that fucking show like every once in a while?
What show is that?
The Tiger King.
Oh, yeah.
What was that?
But
What was that lady's name?
I still see the memes from them too. So
What was it?
especially during election time.
Yeah.
Remember how you president?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Or the I'm never gonna be able to recover financially from this.
Yeah.
Or financially be able to recover from this. No, I was talking about Carol Baskin. That was her name. And she had, yeah, she had her YouTube channel. You cool cats and kittens. All right. Thank you for downloading yet again another Cöld Brüe podcast. I am Greg. He is Sorcerer Chromatic. And we'd like to wish you cheers.
Until next time.